My name is Yana Khashper, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Recovery Fitness. Recovery Fitness is a nonprofit, peer-led, sober, active community built around health and wellness for people recovering from drug and alcohol addiction, as well as their family members and friends. I first started to experiment with drugs and alcohol around the age of 12. It wasn't like alcoholic or problematic right off the bat. My friends and I snuck into a parent's liquor cabinet. We had some drinks. I couldn't tell you what it was or what we drank, but I do know that I got sick or I blacked out. It wasn't a positive experience, but something was different for me where my friend said, I'm not going to drink this much ever again. And for me, the feeling was so elusive that as a kid, I sought it. I didn't have the skills that I needed to go through day-to-day life, to cope with the happy moments, the sad moments. So I learned that through alcohol, I was able to calm my nerves. Break up with your high school sweetheart or an argument with your parents over grades. I just didn't have the tolerance or the capacity to process those things. So slowly, I turned more and more to drugs and alcohol. I was a good student. I didn't get in trouble. I got good grades. I actually graduated early. When you think of a drug addict, when you think of that word, you may not think of someone that looks like me. I didn't grow up hoping to be a drug addict or an alcoholic. I don't have a family history of addiction whatsoever. There was just something different for me. I went on to college, I went on to graduate school, things appeared okay. But my addiction was taking more and more of an active part of my life. It got to where, I sought parties all the time, and I wanted to hang out with my friends, and I wanted to drink and experiment with various recreational drugs, from marijuana to hallucinogenics to... Oh gosh, it just progressed from there. I never, again, thought that I would grow up and say, I want to use cocaine. I want to risk my entire life. I want to become addicted to pills. These weren't things that I was working towards. Eventually, it just took over. I had a history of mental health, just anxiety, reflecting back to those things in high school where I just felt a little awkward. And I didn't know how to cope, and turned to substances as a learned behavior. I saw adults doing it at social gatherings. I learned that's how you socialize. But because I have the disease of addiction, that was my tool to get through life. In my late 20s, it was getting out of hand. I could no longer maintain employment. I could no longer take care of myself, and I started to experience consequences. That's when I first started getting in trouble. I have 3 drunk driving offenses in the course of a year. After the second one, I remember kind of coming to and thinking, I said I'd never do this again, and I don't know how I got here. I lost complete control. Addiction was running my life. The morals, the values, all the things that I knew were right from wrong, they were blocked out by my need and my dependence on drugs and alcohol. I remember thinking that I'm probably not going to be able to drink because I can't control it. I can't manage it. I can't function with it, but I can't function without it. And the thought scared me so much that I attempted suicide. And this was one of several attempts that I've had throughout my addiction. But this one landed me in the hospital, and it's this panic. It wasn't fun anymore. I wasn't partying and having fun anymore. It was just sheer survival. There was no joy. There were no friends. Everything was gone. I checked myself into rehab. That's when I really started to live. I have friends. I started to acquire friends, true, meaningful relationships. I started to build self-esteem and confidence. I started to feel like I had some kind of worth. And from there, things just continued to get better. I was employed again. I learned of exercise and wellness. I was exposed to it through my partner at the time, and that just filled my heart and filled my soul. It helped me to cope. It helped me to cope with stress. It helped me to connect with nature. It really, it helped me stay sober, and still helps me to stay sober today. If I had a child that was a kind of tween teenager, what I would tell my child was that I loved them no matter what. I would talk to them about drugs and alcohol in a non-judgmental way. I wouldn't yell or scream if they came home and they smelled like alcohol or they got in trouble. I would just really have open conversations and be honest about myself, about my own experimenting as a child, and just love them no matter what.